Hi everyone, I'm Kenji Terawaki. I'm the chair for diversity and inclusion with GAYS. I have with me today Brian Barton, who is our keynote speaker at the symposium coming up on December 6th. He's an emerging figure in the outreach arena. Brian is also an entrepreneur and author of two books, Mindset, Awareness and Action, Stat and Situations, The Game Plan to Success. He's also a former major league with the St. Louis Cardinals and Atlanta Braves. Brian, how are you?
Oh, I'm doing great. Thanks for having me, Kenji. It's a pleasure to be here.
Oh, our pleasure. I would like to you introduce yourself.
Well, I know we had the introduction where I mentioned a little bit about me, but just even more so, I'm a young African American kid from the inner city of Los Angeles who made his way to the University of Miami by way of Loyola Marymount as a transfer student. And I decided that I wanted to continue to pursue a career that I was very, very intrigued about, and that was in engineering. And so at the University of Miami, I decided to major in engineering, aerospace engineering to be exact. But at the same time, I had this sort of conundrum that I had to face. Was it pursue my academic career, or would it would I pursue my professional baseball career? And I made the decision to pursue baseball, and I left school early to pursue that professionally. I was fortunate enough to make my major league debut with the St. Louis Cardinals and eventually was traded to the Atlanta Braves, where I played a short stint there. And from there, I started my speaking career because I knew I had a platform to be able to go to different organizations and schools and really have an impact with my message on these young individuals. And I saw that as a perfect opportunity to be able to start my outreach. So baseball kind of went to professional speaking, and from there, I continued to try to impact as many lives as possible.
That is a beautiful introduction, Brian. I appreciate it. So with that being
Thank
said,
you.
Why do you think the high education's career advisors or career counselors and recruiters to learn more about diversity and inclusion today's days with these current generations?
Well, I think it's very important because, I mean, just from my experiences at school, I understood that diversity itself is kind of like a cooking recipe in a sense. You have some people who may just use salt and pepper, right? But if you're dealing with a master chef, he may use a variety of different ingredients and different flavors and different spices and herbs, and you get a better experience when you're eating, right? So I see higher education in a sense in the same vein, where the more diverse our student body, our faculty are, the better and more enjoyable our experience should be. And I think that is very important that these recruiters and advisors learn about diversity and inclusion because there are people who come into these institutions looking for an outlet to be able to express themselves, yet they feel in a way outcasted, or they feel kind of separated, or they feel alone. And myself going to the University of Miami and coming from, I would say, a predominantly white school in Los Angeles, there was a sense of a culture shock. For one, because there was a bigger diverse group around me, but at the same time, there were even people who looked like me, yet they were culturally different, whether they be from the islands, whether they be from different countries or whatnot. And I think the more that we can have these advisors and recruiters who can serve as advisors for us and as a sounding board for us, I think it'll be beneficial for all the students, the student body, the faculty, and just for an overall better experience at the school because we all want to be included. We all want to be around people like us, but at the same time, we all want to see this opportunity as a way to be able to learn about different people as well.
That is a beautiful point of view. I like it a lot, and I like it, your analogy about recipe and ingredients in a recipe. I think it was a beautiful analogy. So,
Thank you.
Ryan, if you will have the opportunity to go back on time, and in your senior year or in your latest years in college, and advise yourself, sit in front of yourself, what it would be that advice to you?
Well, if I could go back, I would say that I would be a little more involved in the campus experience more so than I was. And even though I was part of some organizations like NSBE and the Black Student Union, I think it was still more centered around something that I was used to and that I was comfortable with. And instead, if I would have been able to immerse myself into a more diverse or more even uncomfortable situation, whether it's learning about a different cultural background, I think that would have been very, very helpful for me. Not saying that I didn't have that experience, but just to kind of involve myself and actually take time to actually learn about other people and give other people a chance to learn about me. I think that that would have been very beneficial to me because as a student athlete, we have this tendency of being locked into one group of people, and in a sense, that's the baseball people. And myself being the only Black person on the team, I really didn't have an outlet. So the real outlet that I had was the Black Student Union and NSBE, the National Society of Black Engineers. So I think I could have used those experiences a little bit more just to kind of connect with different people, different backgrounds, and to learn a little bit more and understand them at an earlier age so that it wouldn't become more of a culture shock later down the line. But one thing I will say is that my experience at Miami has opened me up to a lot of different things in terms of travel. And now that I understand that there are different people who look like me, but who may share some of the same ideas, who may share some of the same wants, who may share some of the same ambitions, I think that there was something that I learned from that, and that it doesn't matter where you live or where you go or who you are, you can still share some of the same qualities and wants that another person can share.
That's fantastic. I wish that every student can hear that and take it in. I think it's a beautiful, beautiful advice. Anything else that you're gonna share? Do you wanna keep it a surprise?
Well, definitely. I'm actually looking forward to the presentation, and I definitely want to be able to share some of my experiences as a professional baseball player in terms of how inclusion is very important in a team concept. And there were situations where I didn't necessarily feel a part of the team always. And I want to show that just being on a team is not enough. At times, there's people who want to who want to feel a part of the team, who want to feel included, and essentially just want to be on the field. And I think that when you look at it in that concept or construct, we have a tendency of sensationalizing a sport and thinking that it's all good on one side, when in actuality there are some trials that we face in overcoming obstacles and pursuing our dreams. So I want to be able to share some of that and then show how these same concepts could be applied in different areas in terms of higher education.
That sounds fantastic. I can wait. Thank you so
You.
much, Brian, for this interview. We really appreciate it. And once again, we're looking forward to see you on December the 6th in our symposium.
Okay, thank you so much.